History has its fair share of celebrated geniuses, people who changed the course of human understanding and progress, but among them there are those whose contributions were so groundbreaking, so transformative, that their true legacy often goes untold. This is the story of one such genius, a man whose work reshaped the very foundations of science, technology, and the way we see the world today. The 17th century was a time of immense change. It was a period of exploration, of pushing boundaries, and of challenging the old ways of thinking. But amidst this intellectual revolution, there was one figure whose work would revolutionize the world in ways few could have imagined. A man whose name might not always make the headlines, but whose contributions continue to echo throughout the centuries. When we talk about the history of science, the name Isaac Newton is often the first to come to mind. Yet, hidden behind his shadow is another man whose work was every bit as revolutionary. His name was Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke, born in 1635, was a man of unparalleled curiosity. A polymath in every sense of the word, he dabbled in nearly every field: astronomy, physics, engineering, biology, and even architecture. But it was his genius for observation and his ability to ask questions no one else had thought of that set him apart from his peers. In 1665, Hooke published Micrographia, one of the most important scientific works of the time. In this groundbreaking book, Hooke showcased the first ever detailed drawings of microscopic organisms, plant cells, insects, and even the structure of human hair. He didn't just observe the microscopic world, he redefined it, proving that the universe was far more intricate and fascinating than anyone could have imagined. But it wasn't just the microscope that Hooke used to peer into the world's secrets. His contributions to cell theory, though often overshadowed by others, were fundamental. In fact, it was Hooke who coined the term cell when he observed the structure of cork under a microscope. To Hooke, these cells weren't just tiny compartments. They represented the fundamental building blocks of life itself. Hooke's brilliance didn't stop there. As a member of the prestigious Royal Society of London, he worked alongside some of the greatest minds of his time, including Isaac Newton, Christopher Wren, and Edmund Halley. But Hooke's relationship with Newton, often described as one of rivalry, tells an untold story of scientific conflict and unacknowledged contributions. It's often said that Newton's laws of motion and the theory of gravity made him the ultimate icon of the scientific revolution. But what many don't know is that Newton borrowed heavily from Hooke's work. Hooke had already proposed ideas of universal gravitation and had discovered the inverse square law of force, which Newton would later build upon. But in the battle for scientific recognition, Newton's reputation outshone Hooke's, leaving Hooke's vital contributions largely uncredited. While his name may not be as widely known, Hooke's influence is undeniable. His Hooke's law of elasticity, which describes how materials stretch and compress under force, is still foundational to physics today.